Hello and welcome to Awaz News. I'm Kubra Ali and I'll be taking you through big news across Canada. Brampton man hit with 16 charges following unsuccessful carjacking police chase. Air Canada pilot's unacceptable pose against Israel result in job loss. Richmond Hill road to close on rainy nights to allow salamanders to cross safely. Pearson Airport heist lawsuit sheds light on how suspect walked off with $20 million in gold. Toronto City Council approves hike in vacant home tax amid scarcity of housing. Man wanted after hate symbols painted on East Toronto Mosque. Major Canadian grocers won't confirm discounts, price freezes feds promised last week. These were the headlines, and let's jump right into the details. A 24-year-old man from Brampton is facing 16 charges in aftermath of a string of incidents in Mississauga. Police say that on October 6, just after 5 p.m., officers investigated a vehicle in a hotel parking lot with a suspicious license plate. During that investigation, the driver of a vehicle allegedly attempted to flee, causing damage to several vehicles, both civilian and police in the area. The man then fled on foot, then unsuccessfully tried to steal a vehicle and carjack another, police said. When officers located the driver nearby, he then allegedly pepper sprayed them before them taking into custody. The officers sustained minor injuries and were treated by paramedics at the scene. Rajbir Singh, 24, of Brampton, has been charged with 2 counts each of assaulting a peace officer, assault with intent to resist arrest, failure to comply with a release order, and possession of a controlled substance, and 1 count each of possession of an imitation weapon, breach of probation, and theft of a motor vehicle, as well as a handful of other offences. He's also facing charges related to 5 separate incidents in the last year entailing similar offences. Singh was held for a bail hearing and attended the Ontario Court of Justice in Brampton. Anyone with further information on this incident is asked to contact Peel Regional Police or Crime Stoppers anonymously. There's one road in Richmond Hill that will be closing on rainy nights this month so an endangered species can safely cross it. York Region announced early this month that Stouffville Road between Bayview Avenue and Leslie Street will intermittently close from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. until October 29th. The region said it is closing this road during this time so Jefferson salamanders can migrate to their winter habitat as these amphibians make passage at night when it's pouring. This particular section will be closed off since it is located in the Oak Ridges Moraine Natural Core area, which according to York Region has many features like wetlands, ponds, and rocky outcrops these salamanders need for their natural habitat. Jefferson salamanders are gray or brown colored with lighter underparts and occasionally can be blue speckled on its sides and limbs, the province notes. The amphibians were classified as an endangered species in 2011 under the Ontario Endangered Species Act. York Region says it is working with the Toronto Region Conservation Authority to ensure the salamander survival. An Air Canada pilot, who the airline says made unacceptable posts about Israel after deadly attacks on that country over the weekend, no longer works there. On Tuesday afternoon, the group StopAntisemitism.org shared Instagram posts allegedly made by the man who is identified as a pilot at the carrier. The posts allegedly depict the man wearing Palestinian colors over top his flight uniform in one photo holding signs reading Israel Hitler is proud of you and showing an Israeli flag dumped in a garbage can above the caption keep the world clean. On Saturday, the militant group Hamas launched surprise incursions across the Israeli border from Gaza, killing civilians and precipitating a widening conflict that has already claimed more than 2,200 lives. By Wednesday, Israel had ramped up its retaliation against Hamas and launched more missiles at the Gaza Strip, where fears of humanitarian disaster mounted as the bombardment leveled neighborhoods and a siege of sealed-off coastal area blocked electricity, food, water, and fuel deliveries. Another alleged post by the pilot promoting a pro-Palestinian protest in Montreal on Sunday included an expletive against Israel and condemned it to burn in hell. In a post Tuesday on Twitter, formerly known as Twitter, Air Canada said the flight officer had been taken out of service the day before when it became aware of the unacceptable post made by the Air Canada pilot. In an update, Wednesday, the airline said the pilot in question no longer works for Air Canada following the process initiated on Monday. The Canadian press is not naming the man after being unable to reach him to verify the content of the post. His Instagram and LinkedIn accounts appear to have been deleted. The Airline Pilots Association, which represents more than 5,000 aviators at Air Canada, said it is aware of the situation. We condemn all violence and hatred and any promotion thereof. It is our firm expectations that all of our members abide by this principle and our professional code of ethics, the union's Air Canada's contingent said in an email statement. Security company Brinks has launched a lawsuit against Air Canada following the gold heist at Toronto's Pearson International Airport last spring, alleging that the airline allowed an unidentified individual to walk away with $20 million in gold and millions in cash after presenting personnel with a fraudulent waybill. The new allegations about the unsolved heist, which occurred at the airport on the evening of April 17th, were found in a statement of claim filed by Brinks with the Federal Court of Canada on October 6th. In the company's claim, Brinks said shortly after the valuables landed at Pearson and the cargo was offloaded, an unknown person was able to gain access to the airline's cargo storage facilities. No security protocols or features were in place to monitor, restrict, or otherwise regulate the unidentified individual's access to the facilities, the statement of claim read. Brinks alleges that Air Canada accepted a fake waybill, a document prepared by the carrier that often contains details of the shipment, route, and charges. Brinks claims that staff accepted the fraudulent document without verifying its authenticity in any way, allowing the suspect to walk out of the warehouse with gold bars weighing a little over 400 kilograms and about $2 million in cash. The allegations against Air Canada have not been tested in court, and the airline has not yet filed a statement of defense. In an email sent to Awaz News on Wednesday, a spokesperson for Air Canada said they could not provide comment as this matter is now before the courts. The Greater Toronto Airports Authority (GTAA) has previously confirmed that the suspect accessed the public side of warehouse, which the GTAA said is outside of its primary security line. The statement of claim alleges that Air Canada was reckless and failed to enlist reasonable and appropriate security measures and protocols to prevent the cargo from being stolen. Brinks said on April 27, provided Air Canada with written notice of loss the company sustained due to the theft and demanded full reimbursement for all losses and damages. Brinks said it has not received a response from the airline. In the statement of claim, the company is seeking reimbursement for the full value of shipment plus special damages to be determined prior to trial. To date, no arrests have been made in the heist and the valuables have not been recovered. Peel Regional Police have said a theft of this magnitude is rare, although not unprecedented in Toronto. The airport was the setting of a gold heist involving a Brinks armored car back in 1952 when about $215,000 worth of gold was taken, amounting to roughly $2.35 million today. In that case, the gold was never recovered and the suspects were never caught. Major grocers in Canada are not yet confirming whether they have committed to special promotions to stabilize grocery prices, as well as recently promised by the federal government. Industry Minister François-Philippe Champagne announced last week that grocers have presented initial plans to stabilize prices, which include discounts, price freezes, and price matching campaigns. The Canadian press has reached out to grocers Loblaw, Empire, Metro, Walmart, and Costco to confirm what exactly each of them has promised to do. Metro declined to comment, while Loblaw, Empire, and Costco have not responded to requests for information. In a written response, a spokeswoman for Walmart Canada said the company plans to keep offering everyday low prices, which refers to Walmart's strategy of offering low prices on a regular basis rather than on promotion only. The federal government gave an ultimatum to grocers in September, saying they should present plans to stabilize grocery prices by Thanksgiving or face potential tax measures as a consequence. The move came in response to the pressure Canadian families are facing as grocery prices continue to rapidly climb. Grocery prices in August were 6.9% higher than they were a year ago. Meanwhile, the country overall inflation rate was 4.0%. Recent polls show support for governing Liberals, dropping as affordability remains top of mind for voters. Champagne's announcement last week on commitments from grocers included little detail. The minister did not clarify what products may be subject to special promotions, for example. When pressed by reporters on how Canadians will know these promotions are any different than the ones regularly offered by grocers, Champagne said he does not want to disclose what each company has pledged to do. NDP leader Jagmeet Singh slammed the Liberals' approach on grocery prices during a news conference last week, saying their plan to ask CEOs nicely to reduce prices is ridiculous. The industry minister has repeatedly pointed to other countries such as France and the UK for examples of grocers to follow, as countries around the world have struggled with skyrocketing food prices. In August, the annual rate of food inflation was 13.6% in the United Kingdom and 9.8% in the Eurozone. The French government reached a 3-month agreement with supermarket chains earlier this year for them to cut prices on hundreds of staples and other foods, which is expected to be extended through the summer. In the UK, grocery giant Asda announced in June its plans to freeze prices on 500 products until the end of August. Other European countries have mandated price controls for staple foods. Hungary, for example, put price caps in place last year for products such as eggs and potatoes. Toronto police are investigating after a man allegedly painted hate symbols on front of a mosque in the city's East End. The incident happened last Friday at about 7:30 p.m. at Medina Masjid at 1015 Danforth Avenue, just east of Donlands Avenue. Police described the suspect as approximately 30 years old with short hair and tattoos on his left forearm. He was last seen wearing a black baseball cap, a gray sweater with a lone wolf patch on right shoulder, black pants, and black boots. Anyone with information about this hate-motivated mischief investigation is asked to contact police at 416-808-5500 or Crime Stoppers anonymously. Toronto City Council voted Wednesday to increase the vacant home tax from 1% to 3% as the city tries to tackle the housing crisis. The housing costs are so incredibly high, which is why housing is the first item in front of City Council today, Mayor Olivia Chow told reporters ahead of the council meeting Wednesday. We're asking speculators that are leaving apartment units empty in the middle of the housing crisis to pay a bit more so we could raise millions and millions of dollars. And we are going to put that in a program to buy city buildings. These might be older buildings, they are affordable buildings. We want to protect these buildings so that we could make them available for people to make sure the renters have affordable homes forever. A motion from Chow to pass any additional revenue generated from the 2023 vacant home tax to multi-unit residential acquisition MURA program passed 23-1. The MURA program is designed to preserve the existing supply of affordable rental housing in the city by having the city purchase market rental buildings in danger of being converted to condos. The vacant home tax requires residential property owners in Toronto to make a yearly declaration about whether their property was vacant or occupied each year. It requires that homeowners pay a 1% tax on the assessed value of their property if it was vacant for 6 months or longer. The tax was adopted in 2021 and came into effect last year. Council asked staff to report back by the end of 2023 with findings from the first full year of tax collection and make recommendations for any changes. In their report to Council on their findings, staff are recommending that the tax be boosted to 3% of property's assessed value starting from 2024 taxation year. The move would generate around $50 million more for the city, staff estimate assuming that the number of vacant homes stays around the same. However, they point out that they expect the extra revenue to decrease each year as the program starts to deter people from leaving homes empty. Staff say the increase will help further discourage property owners for keeping units unoccupied and will help offset the cost of the program. Executive Committee considered expanding the program to include multi-unit residential buildings at a meeting on August 24th. They contemplated including properties with 2 to 6 units in the program. However, staff determined that it would be difficult for the city to make that move without expending excessive time and resources to assess the value of each individual unit. Staff are therefore not recommending the move at this time. Owners of multi-unit properties with 2 to 6 units can continue to declare a property occupied for the purposes of the tax if at least one rental unit is occupied for a period of 183 days or longer. Other changes being recommended include an exemption of up to 2 years for nearly constructed, never occupied, and sold residential housing units, as well as an expanded definition of tenant to include business tenants. Speaking at Council Wednesday, Councillor Stephen Holliday said he opposes the increase and worries that it will become a revenue tool rather than a policy tool. He said he would like the ultimate goal of the tax to be for the city to collect no money rather than to become reliant on it for revenue. He said he also wants to see an exemption for people who leave homes vacant due to health circumstances, relating a story about one woman in his ward who was hit with tax after selling a condo she moved out of while she was having cancer treatments. Council passed a motion moved by Holiday to study the feasibility of exemptions for medical reasons. Council also passed a motion moved by Holiday to affirm that the ultimate goal of the vacant home tax is to collect $0. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Kubra Ali. I'll see you back tomorrow, same time, same channel. Have a good night.